Hi, everybody. My name is Aimee Waters, and I'm the Executive Director of the Dick's Sporting Goods Foundation. And I'm very excited to be here. Give you a little bit of background about our foundation. At Dick's and at the Dick's Sporting Goods Foundation, we believe that sports make people better. We know that kids who play sports do better in school, are more likely to go to college, have more inclusivity of thought, are less likely to be depressed, are generally more well-balanced student athletes. So we are proud to be a foundation whose mission is to help inspire and enable sports participation. When you think about high school sports, historically, they've been free and equitable way for kids to participate and continue to play after their youth leagues. However, we know things are changing. Funding for sports has been reduced and participation is low. Today, only 39% of kids play high school sports. So when the Aspen Institute with Project Play brought us the opportunity to partner together on the Reimagining School Sports initiative, we knew we had to jump in and support it. Working with them to help think many of the century-old assumptions to identify strategies and models that engage more students in sports at high school is a worthwhile effort. So we're so proud to support this initiative and help rethink high school sports and get more kids playing. With that said, we are proud to present the large rural school winner for our Reimagining School Sports initiative, and that is Jennings County High School. And I'd like to introduce Dustin Roller and Cory Stevens, the principal and athletic director of that high school, to help talk about the program a little bit more and ask them a few questions about how they've been so successful with their athletic program in their high school. I know after speaking with you guys prior and learning a little bit more about your school, I'm sure there is a variety of different things that you are proud of about your athletic department. But if you had to pick one, could you just speak a little about what you guys are most proud of that you've been able to accomplish?
Our student athlete leadership team is the best of the best. They've been nominated by their coaches to represent their teams. This is our second year of running SALT, as we call it, short for Student Athlete Leadership Team. And they have gone above and beyond with changing the culture in our school, making an impact on the community, and just taking an active role on making things better in their daily lives and the lives of their fellow students. Right now, they are in the middle of an activity where we've partnered with Fuel Up to Play 60, which is an organization that focuses on a healthy diet, which is the fuel up part of it, and then the importance of daily physical activity for 60 minutes, at least 60 minutes. Last week, all of our representatives from SALT went out to all of the elementary schools within the corporation, and they interacted with the students through their PE classes and discussed the importance of physical activity, a healthy diet, healthy lifestyles, all of those things. We're doing the same thing this week with our middle school students. And then we are inviting all of those, the elementary and the middle school students, to the high school next week, the day after school ends, to put on a youth jamboree, again, in partnership with Fuel Up to Play 60, where our SALT members, our coaches, our athletes will put on basically a camp for their specific sport, taking the kids through basic drills, and again, emphasizing the importance of physical activity and a healthy lifestyle.
The unique thing that we've been able to do with Cory being here and our entire admin team is taking the opportunity to listen to our students. When I meet with business leaders, and I had the opportunity to go through some training a couple years ago at Cummins, and listening to businesses talk about the customer, and constantly getting feedback and focus groups and understanding what they desire. And I think in education, a lot of times we miss the boat on that. Our customers are kids. Yes, we have stakeholders that are in the community and employers that we want to work with too, but ultimately the customer that we serve are our kids. And far too often, I think in education, we have this mentality that we know best. To be honest, I believe the world's changing so rapidly that we have to be in contact with those kids. So coming out of the SALT leadership team and seeing the ideas that they've brought, that I don't know that we would have ever come up with had we sat in a room and stared at each other all day long, to even our co-ed PE, all-inclusive PE that we've developed, coming out of conversations with kids. Instead of saying this is what we think is best, being willing to sit down and say, we don't know, we don't understand, we're looking for you to help us understand. And having open and honest conversations with our kids have led us to some great ideas.
The one thing you guys didn't mention that I know was another thing that we were very excited about was your deserve to win grid and the way you evaluate performance of all of your sports teams and your coaches. Could you give us a little bit more information about that program and how it came to be?
Sure. Dustin and I both have a background in coaching. We're coaches at heart. Dustin was our head football coach here at Jennings County High School. My background is in college coaching, college baseball. And as a young coach, you are focused on winning at all costs. And the older I got, the more I learned it wasn't as much about winning as it was about these other things that appear on the deserve to win grid. And then as I got even more mature, I started to learn that if I focused on these things, which isn't winning necessarily, it would lead to results. So I know it's cliche to say, but it's about the process, and the process will in turn create results. But as I was transitioning to Jennings County High School, I found two different things. One from a former teammate of mine who is a head football coach in the suburbs of Chicago. His name's Rob Pomazak. He's at St. Charles North High School. And then another was from a friend and colleague. Actually, he was my mentor, athletic director mentor as I took over here, but Bryce Barton at Crawfordsville High School. And I took two things that they put out there that had all of these different areas of your program to consider in the big picture and fused them together and created some descriptions. And really, I think if you are addressing every one of those issues at a high level, you're going to win. And really, that's what it's about, the big picture and the overall experience for the student athlete. And if you're focused on that, you will be successful. So with our coaches, I presented that to them going into their seasons. I wanted them to look at each of those areas, see where they were at that specific time, and then where they thought they could be in the future. Once they finished their seasons, I had them do a self-evaluation on those same topics. I did my own evaluation, and we came together and we discussed each one of those and where we thought they could grow and where they thought their areas of strength were. And I think if you're constantly evaluating your program with those factors in mind, you will consistently get better and be successful.
What I think he does such a great job of, because he removes the barriers to success for our coaches, and the deserve to win grid does that. It's really easy, as especially a young inexperienced coach, to, when you're struggling, to sit back and say, well, if I had this, if this was in place, if they gave me this, we would be successful. All of that is laid out in the deserve to win grid. So in the beginning of the season, when he looks at what they're kind of previewing, when they say, well, if we had this piece of equipment, it would help us. Now we've got a way to go look at those opportunities and how can we make that happen? It may not happen immediately, but if we know that's what our coach believes is a barrier to their success, we want to go find a way to take that barrier away. And Cory does a great job of that. And I also think, from my perspective, getting out of athletics, but still obviously being a coach at heart, it's so important for our coaches to remember that while, yes, we want to push our kids to succeed at the highest levels that they're capable of, the majority of our high school athletes aren't going on to play major college, athletics. The majority of those that do go on to play college athletics aren't going on to the next step to professional athletics. So this is truly about a lifetime commitment to things. And that's what I want our coaches to understand the most is we want to build great community members.
That's outstanding. I mean, as a foundation and a brand here at Dick's Sporting Goods, our belief is that sports make people better. And I think what you just spoke to really resonates with us, because it is about the power of sport to help teach kids who they can become as adults. And I'm very grateful for what you guys are doing out there in your community, and really using sport for good and to help kids, see a path to being a better future self. So you should be very proud of what you're doing. We know, I can speak for Project Play and the Dick's Sporting Goods Foundation to say that we're very proud to have selected you guys as the large public rural school winner. And we're very grateful for what you're doing for those kids out there, and excited to hear to learn about what you continue to do in the future.